to our Cabaret Slam.
Yeah.
I'm Vince Ventura, and I have a secret to tell you. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Do you really want to hear it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I am bi. Not bisexual, which some of you might be thinking. Not bi-coastal, which would be absolutely luxurious. And not bicentennial, which most of the time I feel like that. I am bipolar. So, I am bipolar. There are so many things to say about bipolarity and so very little as well. What is it exactly? What is it? Bipolarity is simply this. The individual suffers from high highs, which is mania, and low lows, which is depression. Some types of mania can result in psychosis and suicidality in depression. There are some comical aspects to mania, such as pressured, rapid speech. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Well, it really can sound like that. I could get a job as an auctioneer. I could get a job as speaking in tongues. I laugh about it, and that's good. But having been through it, I have really seen some stuff. It started in my adolescence, which is quite common, I guess. So here's a story from my teens. I have been diagnosed as being bipolar at the age of 15. My parents had given me a theatrical makeup kit for Christmas, and I was obsessed with the show Cats. Weren't we all? I mean, I don't know. I made myself as an actual cat from the show with this makeup kit. It took hours, but the results were amazing. I walked around my neighborhood that way, showing it off to my neighbors, and this obviously wasn't Halloween. I think that I thought that I actually was a cat at certain points. But regardless, it was a creative endeavor born out of my mania. Bipolarity and that creative edge have enabled me to do amazing things with my voice. Painting, dance, and poetry. There are many famous artists, actually, that have been or still are bipolar. For example, the composer Robert Schumann, Vincent van Gogh, Liza Minnelli, and Judy Garland. I think that it all started with Judy Garland. So I started to look for answers. Gotta get off this yo-yo ride. When did I go? Where do I find a seat deep inside? Where do I go? Where do I stop this game with no name? How will I though? How will I live with no shame? I hope somebody gets that. I'm not a pill-popping maniac anymore, so. There are some pros to mania I have found in my life. Number one, ingenious bodies of work have been created in a manic high. Be it music, art, poetry, what have you, literature. People used to think that I was high on speed, but I actually was just high in mania. And three, hypersexuality. Of all of them, that was the thing that really got me. I mean, I could literally go for days just like I was on speed, but not. I was just up. And people would say to me, Vince, you're a mess. You've got problems. And I would say, no. Bipolar people are notorious for not wanting to get medicated because it would stop the mania. So, at a certain point, I went into a very long rebellion. I'm so happy, 'cause today I found my friends. They're in my head. I'm so ugly, that's okay, 'cause so are you. Broke our mirrors, forth, I guess, inside of me. It felt like trying to put together a puzzle. But the pieces just didn't fit. There will always be a part of me that loved living that way, especially when I was younger. You know, it was on the edge, it was exciting. The duality of it would inevitably pull me down into a depression. I was studying really hard to get into the San Francisco Conservatory of Music. I was pretty much guaranteed the scholarship. The head of the voice department was teaching me for free. In my mania, I practiced nonstop. The sad part is that the date of the audition, I had crashed into a very deep depression, and I could not move. I could not get out of bed. But what goes up must come down. I still regret that opportunity, but it wasn't really my fault. So when I would crash into depression like this, I would long for that part of me I once had. I remember sky. It was blue as ink, or at least I think. I remember sky. I remember snow, soft as feathers, sharp as thumbtacks, coming down like lint. And it made you squint as the wind would blow. And parks and bridges, ponds and zoos, ruddy faces, muddy shoes, dreams and things and dreams and things and days. I remember days, or at least I try. But as years go by, they're a sort of haze, and the bluest ink isn't really sky. And at times I think I would gladly die for a day of sky. So, after all that, I am finally well, and I've been well for a long time. After years of that yo-yo ride, I am so glad to be off. I've been on lithium for a long time, and it has truly saved my life. I could not do much if I was not on it. So, I get to have this amazing, tangible feeling of being free and stable. I used to think that being well would be some gigantic thing. But it wasn't that at all. It was a quiet thing. When it all comes true, just the way you planned, it's for the bells don't ring. It's a quiet thing. When you hold the world in your trembling hand, in ringing the choir sing. It's a has enabled me to have a new lease on life. And I wish you the same peace.
Ventura, everybody. Ventura.